Hey everybody, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina. Hope you're having a good day or a good night or a guten Tag, a guten Abend, a guten Nacht, oh, guten Wochenende, well, it's Mittwoch, Mittwoch, right? Montag, Donnerstag, Mittwoch. What anyway? So anyways, I don't know why I'm doing this, but anyways, oh, I can't wait for the next book. I just finished this one. I'm like, hurry up. I think it's Haunt Death at Midnight. But anyway, we're doing, please hit the like and subscribe. Let me know I'm doing a good job. I need all the likes and subscribes I can get. Started Flashback Monday the other day. Please check that out. I haven't done it in a while. Talk about all the books that you read with your own. There it is, up there. Read with your own. The cover was Mary Janice Davison. So, again, I did a little spiel on Mary Janice Davison over there. So, it's a pain in the butt putting them back on order. I have them in alphabetical by author and then series sequential order after that. Book 1, Book 2, Book 3, Book 4, as they were published. I guess publication order. So, anyways, we are talking about, just a sec. We are talking about Death at the Manor. And I'm a little upset. I know it's going to be a plot thing. I know it's going to be a character angst thing. I can see the writing on the wall. We got to create some angst and emotion and conflict and all that kind of stuff. I see it coming. I know what's going on here. But I don't like it. But I can see it coming. I can see it coming. I can see the writing on the wall, on the book. Now, the reason for all this is because, when we start the book, our hero, and I see him as the hero. And if you've read these books, it reminds me of Andrea Penrose's Wexford and Sloane and Darcy Wilde's series, Rosalind. And Darcy Wilde was doing it too. And I'm sorry, but there hasn't been any more of those. And Alyssa Maxwell's. At least hers had a happy come out of the plot trio thing. So I'm hoping it has the same here. But, so we're starting the series off, the book off. This is book 3, with Captain Hart Jackley, our hero, leaving town. He's going back to a ship. And see, the problem is that she doesn't see what's right in front of her. Lily Adler does not see what's right in front of her. She's so busy with the mourning stuff and the guilt. See, now her father is still mourning her mother, and her mother's been dead for like 20-something years. And Lily has, I think, mourning 2 or 3 or something like that. And a relative said, you gotta get out there. You gotta get out there again. So she's slowly coming out of the mourning thing, right? So these first 3 books, she's like irritatingly slowly coming out of mourning. And it's just irritating as all hell. And Jack, on the other hand, is in love. You can tell that he's in love. But she doesn't see it. She just doesn't see it. And it's driving me crazy. So, she's too cute. I wish you could see it. It's driving me bonkers. Now, first off, all right, so where's my other? Oh, you were on my notes. So we do catch up on Arthur Wyatt. We catch up on his little story. He was a mentally handicapped, challenged person in the last book, and we catch up and find out what's going on with him. I liked it. We didn't hear much about Jem at all. And like I said, Captain Jack is going off. And he's going to miss her. He doesn't want to go. She's going to miss him too. But she just doesn't see it. And it's right in front of her face. And it's just... So anyway, she's going off to stay with her aunt. She's accompanying Ned and Ophelia on their trip. And they're going to go further after. All right, so Lily, Ned, and Ophelia, and Lily's maid, are going to go stay in the country with her Aunt Eliza and her aunt's companion, Susan Clark. And they're going to all go there. And then after that, Ned and Ophelia are going to move on to further pastures. And Lily is going to wait for Mr. Wyatt to show up, Mr. Walker, her best friend. I'll get the name right later. Because Serena's having a kid, and Serena wants Lily to be there for the end. So then Selena's going to go that way. So she's going to be out of town, out of London for several episodes. So they get to the aunt's house, and a gentleman that has appeared in previous books who was injured in the war. He's only got one arm, but he's infatuated with Lily, and at the time she was treating him as a friend in the previous books. But with Jack gone now, she's treating Matthew a little more seriously than she did in the past. And it's driving me crazy. And the fact that, well, we'll get to that. So when they get to the aunt's house, they're invited to dinner at Matthew's house. And, where's my thing? Wait a second. No, I'll just do this. Sorry. So they're invited to dinner at Matthew's house. And Matthew is very, very concerned about his kids. And his kids have overwhelming attention in the book. They're always diverting him. He's always going that way. So that leaves me, I'm not too sure if he would give equal time to a spouse or not. Or if he would still be too obsessed with his kids. But that's a whole nother story. We haven't even gotten there yet. So, so Matthew tells them that the neighbors, the Wrights, have a ghost. A ghost has been reported through the house for a long time. Now, all right, let's do this first. Let's just do this ghost first. And then we'll get to the other, because the others she's been listening to gossip about the Wrights, I believe. Eliza put in, rising to refill her coffee cup and fetching a fresh cup of tea for Susan at the same time. Though perhaps you know more about it than we do. All we've heard is that one of the servants claims to have seen a ghost in their house. Apparently it's more than that, Mr. Spence said, leaning back and crossing one ankle over his knee. It seems the whole family has been seeing whatever the apparition is at one point or another. Apparently it wanders the halls of Belford at night. Half their servants have quit in fear, but it doesn't seem to have intimidated the Wrights. I even hear that Thomas Wright, the son of the house, with a nod at his guests who were not local, has talked of giving tours as they do at the great houses. So they have this ghost that's wandering around, and they're blaming it on all different kinds of stuff. So then, the next day or the next day after that, in a short period of time, the head of the Wright family, the current head of the Wright family, Mr. Wright died many years ago, and he left the estate to his wife in charge. So usually in the English stuff, the eldest son inherits and he becomes the boss. But in this case, the husband set it up so that the wife was the boss. And apparently she was very tight-fisted, very which I can't think of the word, thrifty in her spending. She's very tight-fisted, frugal. There you go, frugal. That's what I wrote. And she held the strings to the family, and she let the house go in disrepair and the lawns go in disrepair, because she was really that tight-fisted with the money. And so it's later discovered that she is murdered. And they believe that the ghost did it because she was murdered in a locked room. And apparently, so then, Lily and Ophelia had investigated the first two books. So Ophelia is all eager to get going with the new investigation. So they get going with the new investigation, and they discover that the woman was murdered in a locked room. And they also discover evidence that she was murdered and smothered, that someone held a pillow over her head because there are physical bruises from the someone using all their weight sitting on her chest, smothering her with the pillow. So it leads to murder. And upon even further investigation, it turns out that the rumor around the village was that the family was really, really low on funds, when in fact they weren't. It was just the mother keeping really tight strings on the accounts. So once the mother is dead, rumor starts going around that maybe things will improve, maybe there'll be house improvements, maybe the son will do this. The vicarage needs improvement, they need some funds. They were depending on the family for funds. They used to depend on the father for funds, but all that stopped when he died. And so Lily writes to her Bow Street runner, Simon Page, who I was very disappointed did not show up. He sent George Hurst, who appears to be a new young Bow Street employee, to the job. Mr. Page did not appear, and I was, sad, as the character was sad that he did not appear. So then it's revealed that the day after the mother's murder, Thomas, the son, had a very, very large gambling debt. And apparently the gambling debt was paid off the day after his death. And they go to the gambling guy, and he's like, yes, the debt was paid off. But he doesn't tell them additional information, and the author holds that information until much later for the payoff, the plot twist. So it leads to a lot of finger pointing. After they arrest some people, then they let the people go. Then the finger points this way, and the finger points that way, and the finger points this way. And it's a very good, very multi-layered, very complex, very character-driven book. And it was good, and it was a smooth and quick read. I enjoyed it. And I'm a little upset with the, I wrote it down. I thought I wrote it down. Obviously, I didn't. Let me see if I can find it, because I know. I'm a little upset that, let me see if I can find it. Just give me a second. Okay, so this is one of the things that irked, and I know the author's going to set it up for a little bit of a plot twisty or character angst or whatever, but I'm sad that it went this far. That the characters went further than I would have liked. They didn't have to take that massive leap in the bedroom. I didn't like that part. That was a little too far. A little less of a leap would have been good to hold the will she or won't she go that way or that way with the characters. But the fact that she made this massive leap with Matthew and then leaves, I didn't like that. I mean, it could have held a little bit, maybe an attraction or something, but I didn't like that she went. That was way too far for a short period of connection to make it a good angst thing. But I didn't like that when she's talking with Ophelia, and this is where I said previously that she's coming out of mourning, and Jack was waiting for her to come out of mourning before he said anything, and she just doesn't see that he has feelings. She just doesn't see it. And that is frustrating as all hell. And she says right here, they're talking about Jack. He cannot ask me to stay loyal to Mr. Adler forever, however much we both loved him. Ophelia is thinking to herself, Mrs. Adler, exceptionally intelligent, but apparently even the cleverest woman could not have had an unfortunate blind spot. Either that or Mrs. Adler was protesting a little too much because she knew, even if she hadn't yet admitted it herself, what Captain's objection might be. And I just, But the fact that she went a huge step with Matthew bugs me like crazy. I can't tell you how much it bugs me. So anyways, I'm looking forward to Death at Midnight. And I hope you'll stay with me. And we got to get going with the JD Robb because my JD Robb is coming out. And the James Patterson and Victoria Thomas. So please hit the like and subscribe. Let me know I'm doing a good job. I hope you enjoyed this book as much as I did. Have a good one.